Welcome back to Hat Yai, and after taking a look around the bus station in Hat Yai last week, I had a request to do something similar at the train station, so that's where we are today. And a bit later on I will be going into the station to show you what facilities there are inside and to give you some practical information. But I also want to add some value to these videos, so I'll be giving you a bit of historical background and also just taking you around the area adjacent to the station. The station is located at the bottom part of busy Tamanui Witi Road, and this is where I was the other night when I did my Hat Yai at night video. So if we continue walking, there's Robinson Department Store on the right hand side. Go a bit further, there's Odeon Department Store. If you turn left before Odeon, you go into the Santisuk Market area. If you turn left after Odeon, you go into Lee Gardens Plaza. A bit further on, you'll find all the Farang expat bars. And then if you continue another couple of kilometres, you'll get into the area where there are the bars and nightclubs for local Thais. As you exit the station, this area here, there are normally tuk-tuks and motorbike taxis, which are handy if you need to get to the bus station or maybe to the van station. And don't believe anyone that sort of tries to give you the impression that these places are a long way away. They're not. The journey will only take about 10 to 15 minutes. Just opposite, there are a few little restaurants and places where you can buy snacks. And there used to be some travel agents where you could book tours to Tarutao and Lipe Islands. You know, they would do everything for you. They would organise the van to Pagbara and the ferry crossing and your accommodation on the islands. But because of the problems with COVID, and I sort of found this out recently from some comments on another video, a lot of these little operations closed because they had no customers and they haven't reopened, so it looks as if they're still closed at the moment, which is unfortunate because it was quite convenient being able to make all your arrangements for one little place. There are some tuk-tuks parked here just as you come out the station and turn right, and one guy's just been shouting at me and gesturing because I'm a foreigner with a camera. He's assuming I'm a tourist and I want to take a tuk-tuk somewhere, but I don't. If you do need a tuk-tuk, you might need to turn right as you come out the station. If you're into history, and some people are and some people aren't, I've mentioned before that there's not much of old Hat Yai remaining. It's a commercial town, it's been developed very quickly and a lot of the old buildings have just been pulled down. There's a one row of old shop houses quite nearby, but around this area there are quite a few of the old wooden buildings on stilts. So if you want to see what Hat Yai looked like many years ago, the area around the train station will be a good place to start. This is Robinson Department Store. Although it's been around a long time, it's still a fairly modern place. Inside there are restaurants. There's a branch of Top Supermarket and the shopping is quite good. And there used to be a massage shop as well, but I'm not sure if it's still there. Massage shops are one of the businesses that have been hit hardest during the COVID business. There's a travel and tour agency just opposite Robinson. I've never used it myself, and my one and only experience of it wasn't very good. Some years ago I was grabbed by a couple of backpackers that arrived in Hat Yai and they wanted to get down to KL. And if they'd just gone to Consortium, which is now closed, near Lee Gardens Plaza, the ticket would have been 600 baht or something. They went in this place looking for a similar price ticket, and this place tried to charter them like a private minivan, just the two of them, and wanted to charge them 10,000 baht, which is crazy. Many of Hat Yai's gold shops are located just in front of the station. Asians like to invest in gold, and from what I've been reading recently, gold could be a very good investment with the rampant inflation that's taking place at the moment. some people are saying that fairly soon the price of gold gets to very, very high levels. If you come out of the train station and walk along Tamanui Road about 75 yards and turn left, the post office is down this road, and there's also something quite interesting at the end which I want to show you. So let's take a stroll down this little road. Here's another example of an old wooden building on stilts. There are a lot of these type of buildings around the railway station, and at one time the whole of Hat Yai must have looked like this. So very different to how it looks these days. Here's the post office, or Praisani as it's called in Thai. And I've always found Thai post offices to be very efficient. I've always received good service, and delivery abroad doesn't take too long either. So if you do want to send something home or send a postcard, this is the place to come. At the end of this little road is the bridge going over the railway tracks, and it's quite an interesting area. The bridge is called Sapan Dam, means black bridge. Just on the other side is the police station and also the main Songkhla immigration office. Underneath the bridge there are several services. You can get keys cut, shoes repaired, clothes repaired. There's women there with sewing machines. I get shoes repaired here quite often, so it's quite a handy little place to know. And there's a big industry here with amulets. The other industry here is making frames for amulets, which is what the lady is doing here. And these people are really quite skilled in what they do. Here's one of the shoe repair services, which I've used quite a few times, and they do a good job, not too expensive. Two signs here, 1 foot, so they're closed on a Wednesday, as are barbershops in Thailand. And this sign says that you have to come and pick up your shoes within 30 days. I guess if you don't, they will just throw them away or sell them. Some things that I really love about Thailand, and if you've got a problem with some clothing, it's you know, broken, or you want it modified, you want, you know, trousers taken in or taken up, you just come along and just find a lady on the street with a sewing machine, and she'll do it for you, and next to nothing. You know, to get that sort of thing done back home in England will be a hassle, but it's just so easy here and so cheap. You know, I really do love some things about Thailand. You can buy some nice coloured shoelaces for your newly repaired shoes. And up here we have a few more ladies doing repairs on sewing machines. All very useful services. And here's the other very useful service, which I've also used, key cutting. If you need an extra set of keys for something, they just come along here and they'll do it for you in no time at all, very cheaply. There's a huge trade in amulets in Thailand. You see websites and magazines, and some of these things change hands for enormous amounts of money. Although technically you don't buy them. You can't buy something that's sacred. So Thais refer to it as like renting them. And this place just near the Black Bridge is Amulet Central in Hat Yai. And I almost made the mistake of referring to them as Buddhist amulets. The amulets are based on prominent monks, and a lot of monks are really into amulets. Wandering around here, you'll see monks. But I've read lots of books and articles on Buddhism and never a mention of amulets. And really it's just a way that Thais have modified Buddhism to suit their animist belief system. Just had a quick chat with this guy who's selling amulets, and they're not expensive. These little ones here are just 50 baht, and they go up to sort of 100, 200 to 400, so nothing extravagantly expensive. They've also got some very interesting coins. I don't know what these are. They're like silver dollars. This one's dated 1847 from the United States. He's asking 500 baht each for these. and there are some from other countries as well, China. Yeah, got some quite interesting stuff. Not particularly interested in the amulets, but some of the other stuff I do find interesting. I mentioned earlier that a little travel agency opposite the station was closed. I'll come back again and it's now open, so I guess it opens a bit later. That's good. So here are the destinations. So it goes, you can go right down into Singapore or somewhere in Malaysia, or you can go the other way up to Trang, Samui, or down to Satun, where Tarutao and Lipe Islands are. Here's a timetable. I think these are minibuses. So to Bangkok, Surat Thani, Samui, Krabi, Phuket, Penang, KL and Singapore. So you're very convenient having it here. So this place is, if we go outside, you see the station just over there. It's sort of 50 yards away from the station. Very convenient. So if you want to move on immediately after you arrive at Hat Yai train station, it's quite easy to find a minivan going somewhere, or you can get a motorbike taxi or tuk-tuk to the van station in Hat Yai, or the bus station where there are big buses and minivans, or even the airport. That's not a problem. If you wish to stay the night or a few nights, the nearest place to the train station is the train hotel, which is actually in the same building as the railway station. They've got private rooms and they've also got dormitories if you want to keep the price down. The rooms are, you know, not much in them, but they're quite a good size. I had a look a few years ago. There used to be a couple of guest houses in the same building where Robinson department store is, but I've just been to look for them. One I can't find, and the other one is obviously closed. So I guess with no business for 2 years, they've been forced to close. They were Ladder and Louise guest houses. If you continue walking, there's the Lam Tong Hotel on the left, and then once you're in downtown Hat Yai, there are loads of guest houses, backpacker hostel type places and hotels. It's really not a problem finding accommodation, and there's no real need to book in advance. Now let's go into the station and take a look inside. And I think there's still airport style security. There's a big Muslim population in southern Thailand. There's been problems for hundreds of years. There's a lot of bad history. It went quiet for a while and then it all flared up again in January 2004, just a couple of months after I arrived in Hat Yai. And there were some attacks in Hat Yai. It all got pretty nasty. Thaksin was the Prime Minister at the time and didn't handle it particularly sensitively, and they've had to sort of put security precautions everywhere. So let's just go into the station. Okay. Here are the ticket counters where it says it's saying tickets for travel today. And there used to be a separate office where they sold tickets for advanced bookings, but that's no longer there. And I've just asked someone and she says you buy tickets for advanced travel at the same place as tickets for today. And I think you can buy tickets up to 60 days in advance. Going north from Hat Yai, you can go all the way to Bangkok and stop at several places on the way. There are sleeper trains and there are slow trains and fast trains. The train journey takes quite a long time. It can take sort of 15 or 18 hours. It's a nice way to travel, nice and relaxed. You see some countryside. It takes a long time, but it is cheap. Going south the other way, the line actually branches at Hat Yai. So one branch goes to Sungai Golok in Narathiwat province, that sort of goes out east. The other branch is closed at the moment. That's the train that goes to Padang Besar. There's a place called Padang Besar in Thailand, which is right on the border, and just across the border is a town of the same name, but it's in Malaysia. So normally you could take a train from here to Padang Besar in Thailand, cross the border, get on a Malaysian train, and then go down to Butterworth, which is the point on the mainland opposite Penang Island, then down to KL, Woodlands, and all the way to Singapore. As I say, that train service from Hat Yai to Padang Besar is closed at the moment. And I've just asked one of the staff here when it will reopen. She doesn't know, and she thinks it will be a long time yet. Let's have a quick stroll. I've just been thrown out of the train station. My plan was to have a little stroll along the platform just to see what there was and explain it to people. And one woman, who I think was quite sort of junior, told me that I needed to get permission from the station master. So I went into an office. This is all in Thai, by the way. You know, get permission is Ko Anuyat. So I went into the office and spoke to some more sort of underlings. They took it to the top person. It's always the way it works in Thailand. There's a very sort of strict hierarchical structure, and you talk to the people at the bottom and it gradually works its way to the top. And the conclusion was that if I want to take a video here, I have to get permission from the big honcho in Bangkok, and it's got to be like written permission. Obviously that's going to take a lot of time and it's just not practical. But you know, what I did see that might be of interest is that there's a mini mart, and inside the mini mart you can leave baggage, and the cost is 30 baht per bag per day. There used to be a separate room for left luggage, but now it's inside the mini mart, and that's about all we need to know. You can buy food and drink there, and there's a toilet and not much else, so that's it. Just a little historical background, and this wasn't the original train station in Hat Yai. The original one was called Utapao, and it's located a couple of kilometres north of here, going towards Bangkok. It was opened in 1909, but it's in an area of low-lying ground and prone to flooding. So it was closed in 1922 and moved here. And Utapao is also a junction, and that's where the branch line to Songkhla went. So for a long time there was a direct line between Songkhla and Hat Yai. Many people travel between the two towns for work and education. And apparently in 1966 there was a big program in Thailand to improve the road network, and people started to prefer travelling by road rather than rail. So there was no justification for the Songkhla to Hat Yai line, and it closed in 1978. But I keep hearing there are plans to make another service, or maybe a monorail between the two towns, because so many people travel between Hat Yai and Songkhla for work or education. And if you find that you need a haircut when you get to Hat Yai train station, there's even that service just outside. ราคาเท่าไหร่ครับ
Free ครับ free
Free! Wow! They don't charge anything, it's free. Never heard of that before. As you enter the train station, but before you go through the security, if you turn left, there are some more coffee shops and restaurants. And I think that if you stay at the train hotel, you have breakfast in one of these places, because there's not a restaurant inside the hotel. In the comments, please don't ask me questions about fares and timetables. There's just too much information. I asked one of the staff about this, and she told me they've got an app called SRT Timetable. So if you want to find out more about where you can go and how much it's going to cost, I would suggest downloading the app to your phone. Regarding the problem I had taking a video inside the station, I do understand it. Thais are generally quite relaxed about videos and photography, but I'm always a bit nervous when I go to a government building. When I went to Da Nang recently, I didn't want to go too near the immigration offices with my camera because I thought I might have a problem. You can be viewed as a national security risk, and with Hat Yai they've had the insurgency problems in the past. They've put in the additional security, and so they probably feel a bit nervous about people taking videos inside the station. So I do accept and understand it, and it's just one of those things. I was hoping to show you more of the inside of the station, but that hasn't been possible, unfortunately. Thank you for watching, liking and subscribing, and a big thank you for all the support that you've given me on my previous videos. This channel is growing far quicker than I had anticipated. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and there'll be more videos soon.